you liked so many of them. That's a great transition to the second question. Actually, you mentioned probspot. So he started in 2004 and released his album in 2005, I think. And it seemed, at least from the outside, it seemed like you were the first one to discover him and promote him and his music. Do you have any anecdotes, or how did you find him or discover his music, if you remember?
You know, I think it was actually just my memory is really hazy on how I first found probspot, but I remember there was that first probspot EP. I think it's the 4-play EP. I seem to recall he had sent like a few of those tracks in a batch. I can't for the life of me remember if it was a CD that he sent in or if it was some links or but once I heard those tracks and this sound that he had, I was like, oh, this is great. It was so tight and melodic, and it had a kind of bounce to it and a kind of a completely unique. He sounded like nobody else, and he was so prolific as well. Like, you'd give him a remix, he'd have it done within a couple of days, and he was just more and more demos coming in. He was trying different things. There's like a drum and bass track on that album. It's one of my favourite tracks under the last one. But yeah, once I realised how prolific he was and how he had this sound that like no one else was putting out anything like that, we just kind of latched onto each other and was like, you know, there was lots of remixes he did for us, and I think he did a few EPs for us. The first EP had 4 original tracks on it. There was like Midnight, one of my all-time favourites, was on there with the 4-play EP, and Satisfaction I think was on there as well. But yeah, to answer your original question, I can't fully remember exactly how he came to kind of onto our radar, because back then a lot of the times it was people sending actual physical CDs and DATs into the office. But there was also, we were just transitioning into people sending links on FTP sites in the sort of the early days of music sharing and the internet. So it could have been that way as well. But I'm not too sure. Possibly a CD.
Okay, but yeah, so you got his demos in your label and just listened to it, and you were convinced, basically.
Oh, 100% straight away. As soon as what I heard those first couple of tracks, which I think were 4-play and Midnight, maybe Satisfaction, and I was like, this guy's got his own sound. He's got his own thing here, and it's great. It really works with what we're doing. It kind of bridges that. It's progressive, but it still had like this kind of like melodic energy and this melodic, you know, side to it, and a lot of energy as well. There was like, it had that kind of bounce to it. So yeah, as soon as like probspot came on board, it was hard not to get him to remix everything. You'd be like, it would be because he was so quick and he would just do such a good job so quickly, and it was kind of, it was almost tempting to kind of just give him like, oh, we need a remix, let's get probspot. We did do a little bit of that, to be fair, but yeah, I mean, he really did encapsulate like the sound at that time. Great producer.